Okay, inside the last 20 minutes of the SportsMax Zone for this Thursday, Trinidad and Tobago's bobsleigh quartet of Axel Brown, Shaquille John, Javeri Williams and Adam Hames made history on Wednesday when they clinched bronze in the four-man event at the North American Cup in Park City, Utah. The team contested 2 heats, which resulted in a combined time of 1 minute and 38 seconds. An impressive time given that it was just 0.64 seconds behind the gold medal winners, South Korea. The team's captain, Axel Brown, joins us now via Zoom to talk more about this historic feat. Axel, welcome to the SportsMax Zone. The last time we spoke to you, you were getting ready for the Winter Olympics with the 2-man event, I think. This 4-man project, though, very satisfying result on Wednesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, the last time I was on was back in February, and it feels like both a flash and a lifetime ago because so much has changed in that time. But yeah, coming into this new Olympic cycle, it's a whole fresh new 4 years. And our plan for that has been to build the 4-man and build a 4-man team and kind of grow as a unit. But coming into this race, with it being our first 4-man race of a whole new Olympic cycle, we weren't expecting much. But then we saw in training that actually we were pretty contentious and that we were able to kind of challenge with the better teams. And we're like, okay, well, why not kind of aim high and try for a medal? And then we came 4th in the first of the 2 races and saw, okay, well, we're really close and we're able to kind of make that next step and get onto the podium. And it was only after the fact that we realized that that was a pretty historic moment, not just for T&T, but for Caribbean 4-man bobsleigh, which obviously has a pretty steep history dating back to the original Cool Runnings sled in '88.
Yeah, so is it then that you didn't actually tackle a 2-man project for this North America Cup?
We were in the 2-man as well, which actually the picture showing right now is us racing in the 2-man, where
yes.
Again we had 2 different races, both of which we came 4th in. So of the 4 races that have been available over the last couple of weeks, we came 4th in 3 of those. And so, you know, everyone that knows sport knows that 4th can be a pretty agonizing position to be sat in, just slightly off the podium. And so it's fair to say that we were getting a little bit sick of 4th. And so it was nice at the final gasp of these 4 to have been able to make the difference and kind of pip the Americans to that last podium spot.
Yeah, can you elaborate, Axel, on the 4-man project and just referencing what you just mentioned about it being a surprise to even yourself on the team that you were able to do so well in the 4-man event? What are the different technicalities that you would address shifting from a 2-man bob to the 4-man competition?
Sure. Well, I mean, the most obvious difference is, of course, that you've then got to double the personnel. And that's not been easy. Obviously, we're a growing team, and though recruitment this year was much easier off the back of the Olympics than it was prior, it's still no mean feat to get everybody, make sure everyone that's vaccinated, everyone has visas that allow them into the countries where we're competing and can afford the time off, because ultimately we're clearing off. We compete November to March, which is a long time commitment. You know, people for financial reasons, for personal reasons, aren't always able to come away. So that's always been the biggest thing, is finding personnel for that. But again, it doubles pretty much all of our costs. And because we're a completely self-funded unit, saying, okay, you need to buy another sled. And for reference, even a cheap 4-man sled, you're looking at around $60,000 to buy. So to move forward into that 4-man realm means a lot more commitment, both financially and physically, from the people involved. And so those are kind of the things that we're battling with. Yes, we want to move forward into the 4-man because that's the blue ribbon event of the Winter Olympics. It's where we want to be seen. It also allows twice as many Trinis to be at the Winter Olympics and for us to grow that legacy. But it's pretty hard because it's so expensive and it's so difficult, and you have to grow that team over a period of years so that every athlete knows the guy next to them, or in our case, in front or behind of them. You know, when you're dealing with hundredths of a second, those margins are really important. So we need to begin it now to get ready for the 2026 Olympics, but that's much easier said than done.
Yeah, and Axel, now that you've outlined the financial difficulties, do you think that by creating history for Trinidad and Tobago and of course securing this medal will make the process a bit easier when it comes to gathering sponsors?
Well, we certainly hope so, because the biggest thing is kind of letting people know that we exist, right? Even just a year ago, you'd be completely forgiven for not knowing T&T had a bobsleigh team, right? So it's all taking steps to kind of letting the world know that, look, we exist. But not only that, that we're actually competitive, because it says a lot for a Caribbean nation to be challenging the likes of the USA and Canada and Korea, in all of which that have had their own Winter Olympics, in a country that never gets close enough for maintaining ice, right? So the first step is letting people know that we exist and that we're good. And then hopefully, brands want to be associated with us and want to be associated with what we're doing and the message that we're sending. Our whole thing from the get-go has been, yes, we want to be competitive. Yes, we want to challenge the best in the world, but we want to treat people right, because all too often in so many sports, people come away from it feeling hard done by and stuff like that. But our team ethos is being, right, people first, and we're going to progress that way with kind of a team of people from all different walks of life. I've got a British accent because I've grown up in the UK to a Trini mom and a British dad, but saying, okay, we want to welcome anybody that's, eligible, anybody in that is good enough, and we're going to treat everybody right, and we're going to kind of do it the right way and not compromise on values and not compromise on kind of people feeling good in the pursuit of excellence, because that's still important, but most importantly is treating people right. And so we're hoping that brands want to be associated with a team that has that same kind of inclusive message, whilst also being competitive and relevant on the ice.
Yes, many big competitions coming up December, the World Cup. How are preparations coming along for those?
Well, better than we expected, to be fair. We knew that we were going to be competitive at this track. It's a track that I drive well. It's a track that I know well, but we never thought really that we were going to be in this position rolling into it. T&T, as far as we're aware, has never been in the World Cup before. It's the biggest level in our sport below the Olympic Games. So it's great to be kind of making that step up and competing against the same people that we saw at the Olympics, and being able to hold ourselves to that standard. Because again, that's ultimately our goal, is to be against those people in 2026, but to be up in the top 5 and challenging for the medals there. We've shown that we're a medal hope, albeit in a smaller race circuit, but we've shown that that's in our range of outcomes. So ultimately, we can move forward into that knowing what we're capable of and how far that will get us. And I think it's a great starting point as we move forward into these next 4 years.
Yeah, Andrew McCarno, he'll be back to join you after World Cup. How important is he to the setup?
Yeah, I'm really excited to have Andre back. Unfortunately, at the Olympics, we weren't able to kind of show our true potential, because he was nursing a pretty major injury, as was I. And the kind of really crazy story that came out of the Olympics is that his first ever time in a bobsleigh was at the Olympic Games, which, side note, we're not sure if that's ever happened in Olympic history. We'd have to find out. We'd have to find someone that knows. Has anyone ever been to an Olympic Games and competed in a sport that they've never done before? Anyway, that's besides the point. Now we get a chance to kind of come back healthy and see kind of where we should have been at the Olympics were we healthy.
All right, Axel, really great talking to you. I know that you just referenced the Winter Olympics next, Italy, 2026, 4 years. So you've got some time to get yourself ready. Don't want to put too much pressure on Prime Minister Keith Rowley and the Sports Minister Shamfa Cudjoe, but T&T are regarded as the most cash-rich CARICOM country. So let's hope they can put some funds together and help you guys out.
Absolutely, and it would help us grow not only this program, but perhaps more importantly, a grassroots program that means it's not another 20 years until we see another Trini pilot after me, because every athlete has a shelf life, and we want to make sure that after us, and hopefully our successes in Milan, there's somebody to carry that flame on to the next one in 2030.
Thanks, Axel, and congratulations again on T&T's success in the four-man bobsleigh in Utah, and you can relay the congratulations from the SportsMax team to the rest of your partners as well. Thanks.
Absolutely well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we go to break now. We have more to come on the SportsMax Zone, our interactive segment, taking us up to the top of the hour.